Hello and welcome to our other lecture of learning how to create websites from beginner level or from scratch. Today we're going to proceed from our previous classes. If you're new here and have not watched the previous classes, then I really recommend you to go and watch the past 3 classes so that you can be on the same level with us. We began with introduction to HTML and we stopped at HTML forms. And I hope you guys have been practicing, because watching these things like movies, not practicing, it is equivalent to writing on water. So with that simple introduction, today we are going to look at how we can create our GitHub repositories and then save our information to GitHub. And also we'll go ahead, if time allows, and get introduced to CSS. After getting introduced to CSS, we'll also get introduced to CSS Bootstrap, the simpler way of writing CSS classes, or the simpler way of implementing CSS. So we have a lot to cover today, and we are going to take this journey in 7 minutes. So I call upon your attention. Try to be as much attentive as you can in these 70 minutes. And then after, you can go ahead and do other thing. So let's get started. I'll start counting the time, okay? After 70 minutes, we'll go ahead and end the class and do other things. So as you've heard, we're going to get introduced to GitHub. So if you don't have any information about GitHub is the way how we can control our source code or using internet. So if your computer get lost, you should be able to have a place where you can restore your code. Or if you want to collaborate with multiple people, you should have a place where you can do everything on different computers, but all your source code is saved together. I mean, in the same place. So that kind of software or that kind of technology, we'll call it source code version control. Okay, we'll call it code version control. So we have version control. One of them, the popular one, is called GitHub, a place where you can create repositories, or you can create your code and then save the code, the copy of your code on GitHub. And as I've told you, it will help you to collaborate even with multiple people. So at this level, I want to be able to trace your performance and also trace your work, if you really you're doing something or you're not doing something. So the simpler way for me to trace if you guys are doing stuff is through using GitHub. So what we'll do, we'll create I'll teach you how to create GitHub accounts, how to create your GitHub repositories, how to commit and push your repositories to GitHub, and then how to add contributors, and then you'll add me as a contributor. So if you add me as a contributor to your source code, I'll be able to trace and see if you're doing something or not. Otherwise, if you don't do that, then it will be hard for me to trace you. So that is why I saw it very important at this level, before you proceed to start creating to start learning how to use GitHub technology. And you add me as contributor, and I'll be able to trace your performance, if you're doing something or not. So with that much said, I'm going to begin by showing you about how to create a GitHub account. So what I'll do, I'll launch my browser, and here is my browser. So once you have your browser, just simply come and search GitHub, as you can see there. So in search GitHub, you'll get the first result, where they'll explain you what is meant by GitHub. They'll explain to you what is meant by GitHub. GitHub is a provider of internet hosting, software development, and version control using Git. It offers the distributed version control of source code, whatever. So in simple terms, it is being used by 73 millions of developers or users, and we use it to just control the versions of our source code, or of our code, or our store, or anything that you can store. So that's why we need GitHub. So to use GitHub, the first thing you have to install what we call Git. Git is the software or the technology that works with GitHub to communicate, and that works with your computer to communicate with what? With GitHub, the software. So the first thing that you're going to do is to install Git. So to install Git, you just simply come on internet and search Git like this. Just search Git download. Okay. So in search Git download, you'll get this one. You'll get this. So go ahead and click on download Git. Okay. So when you click on download Git, you'll get you'll be taken this place. So at this place, you'll have to select your computer. If you're using Mac, you go for Mac here. As you can see, I'm using Mac, so I have download for Mac. So just simply click for Mac and then to start downloading. If you're using Windows, so you just simply click on Windows and then you'll be able to download. If you're using Linux, still you can use, those who are using Ubuntu, you can still use this version. So if you're using Windows, automatically they will detect that you're using Windows and the button of download for Windows will be here. So if it's not detected, you just simply click on this Windows icon and then you'll be able to select and download. So for me, I'm using Mac, I'll just simply click on download. So when I click on download, Git will start downloading, you see? It is going to start downloading and I can get that download at this point. But for me, I already have it, so I'll not do what? I'll not download it. So what you do, you download this Git, and after downloading it, you install it. If you're using, for example, if you're using Windows, for me of Mac, I have to run a command. But if you're using Windows, just click on Windows and then you'll see, click here. Can you see? Click here to download. So if you click here on the click here to download, it will start doing what? To start downloading straight away to your browser. But for me, I already have this stuff, so I don't need it. Okay. So, but for you, you'll have to download it, and then after downloading it, you click to install. You double click on it, you open it to install it, and then when you click on installing, you just simply click on next, 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 next. So you'll be clicking on next to install in your what? In your computer. So installing Git is really straightforward. Just because I'm not on my Windows machine, I could have shown you, but it is really, really straightforward. So after installing Git, the next thing you'll have to install what? GitHub software. So to install GitHub software, simply again come to your Google, to google.com, and then search GitHub. So after installing Git, you have to install now GitHub. So click on GitHub and then click on download GitHub. Okay. Sorry, click on download, search download GitHub download. So GitHub download is just a software that will enable us to communicate with our GitHub accounts. So go ahead and click there, and then you see here I have download GitHub for macOS or macOS. I already have it. So if you're using Windows, automatically select Windows, but if you're using Windows and they did not show you, you see there is also an option here. So you go ahead and download GitHub. So after downloading, you see it has started downloading. After downloading, you install it. To install it, you just simply open what you have downloaded here, and then click next, next, next. It is really straightforward. If they ask you to install, when you're clicking next, when you're installing this one, they'll ask you to install GitHub command line. Go ahead and say install GitHub command line. So after downloading and install those two softwares, Git and GitHub, you'll have a software like this in your computer. Software like this one. You just go to start of your computer where there's all programs and write Git. You'll be able to have a software like this one. Okay. So you'll have something like this. Okay. So this thing is my GitHub software. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create my GitHub account. Okay. So to create a GitHub account, if you don't have one, you just simply come to the browser. So after making sure that you have downloaded GitHub, then next thing is to create a GitHub account. So I'll simply come to my browser here, and then after opening the browser, let me open an incognito. I just simply search GitHub. So if you search GitHub, you'll get this first line of github.com. So you got this first link, github.com. So you click on github.com, and then you'll be taken here. So you'll have something like this. Okay, so if you're coming for the very first time, so here is where you can create your your GitHub account. Okay, it's on internet, so you should be connected to internet, of course. Then you'll be able to create your GitHub your GitHub account. So to create a GitHub account, you just simply click on click on sign up. So this sign up, they'll ask you to create a GitHub account. So to do that, you just simply enter here your email. Okay, after entering your email, you click on continue. They ask you to enter your password, so you enter a password that you will not forget. After entering the password, you click on continue. They will send you a link in your email to confirm. So you go to your email address inbox, and then you'll find there the link for the password for the GitHub, or they'll send you a code. Copy that code and paste it somewhere here where they'll ask you to do so. So after pasting it, you will be able to have your account of GitHub, which is really straightforward. Okay, so for me, I already have one, so I may not need to create another one, but those are the steps. Enter your email, enter your password. They send you the link to verify your email. You verify it. After verifying it, and then go ahead and log in. After logging in, you'll be able to have your your GitHub account. So let me open the browser where I'm logged in with my GitHub. So this is where I'm logged in. So if I come to github.com, you should be able to see something like this. Okay, you should be able to see something like this. Okay, so once you see something like this, then it means that you will have created your GitHub account successfully. So the next thing is for you to create a repository. So a repository means a copy of your project or your source code on on GitHub. I repeat, a repository means a copy of your project on on GitHub. So since we are learning HTML, I'm going to create a copy of my HTML project on GitHub. So it's going to be like a new project. So I'm going to create that copy right now. So to do that, this new repository is here. So I'll click on new repository, and then they'll ask me what is the name of my repository. I'm going to call this one, I'm going to call it learn underscore HTML. So that is the name of my repository. So this is where I'll be saving all my codes that I'll be using to practice to practice HTML. Or I can say learn web. Let me say learn web. So everything I'll be saving it here. So web, HTML, and everything I'll be saving it here. So after doing that, now the next thing is now to do what? To create this repository. So I'll leave it as public. After leaving it as public, I will go ahead and say create repository. Okay, so I'll click on create repository. So it will start creating for me the repository, and once my repository is created, I'll have something like this. So this means that under learn it with Muhindo, which is my username, there is stroke repository. Otherwise, if I click on learn it with Muhindo and I click on under repositories, I'll see different repositories that I've been creating. I have this one, learn web. You see, this is just the one that I've just created 16 seconds ago. I have this one, I have this one. So now I have 3 repositories. So for you, if it's your first repository, you'll have only one. So let me go ahead and open my first repository, learn web. So I have this first repository, but there is nothing. So why have we created it? We have created it so that we should be able to keep a copy of our code on internet. So we have to find a way how we can send our code here. Okay, we have to find a way how we can send our our code here. The code that is on our computer or on a local machine, on the computer, right? We should have a copy of it here, so that we should be able to share it with other people. They can be able to access our code on internet. Even we can even collaborate with different people, right? So after doing that, let us go ahead and create our and see how we can send our code here and have a copy here on the repository. So to do that, I'll come back now to my desktop. Okay, so this is my desktop. Now the next thing, this is our software that we just downloaded. So the next thing that I'll have to do is to log in into this software that I downloaded. So to log in, you just simply come to GitHub or click on file if you're using Windows, and then you click where there is settings. But if you're using Mac, you'll see the word preferences. So I'll click on preferences and I'll get this one. So if I'm not logged in, let me log out here. If I'm not logged in, you'll see github.com. So you just simply click sign in on github.com, not GitHub for Enterprise. GitHub for Enterprise is the one which is paid, but for me, I have a free version. So I click on sign in. So I click on sign in, they'll ask you to sign in with your browser. You say yes, and then they'll take you to your browser. Then you'll have to authorize. But for me, I already authorized, so they'll take me just directly. So after authorizing, you should be able to have your account there, or you should be able to successfully log in your your project. So after doing that, it means that I've successfully logged in my project. So the next thing is now to connect this project that we just created with our local computer. So to do that, I first make sure that so here it will have our list of projects that we created. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the repository which is on internet. I'm going to add it on computer. I'm going to add this repository that I've just created, this folder. Okay, I'm going to add this folder to my computer. Okay, so I hope we are together. To do that, you can just simply click on repository and then not repository, on file, and then say new repository. Or you can simply say add clone repository here, Ctrl Shift Co, clone repository. So when I click on clone repository, it means that you're going to get the repository from internet to your computer. So if you're already logged in, you can click there, and then you can even have your repositories here listed. So if I say learn web, you see my repository is already there listed if I'm logged in. Another way, you can just simply click on URL here and then come and copy this link. Okay, you see, you copy this link. So I can copy this link and then I come and paste it here. So those are the two ways. You can either use this one, you see, learn web is here, the new report that I just created, or you click on this use link. So one of the way will work. So let me use this one. So I click on learn web. So after clicking on learn web, the next thing, I can just simply paste here the URL. So after pasting the URL, the next thing is to, if you're using learn web, the next thing will be, if you're using the github.com, after selecting the repository that you want, the next thing will be for you to select the path where you want this repository to be saved on your computer. So I click on URL, I paste here. The next thing is to choose where I want, and this link, this is the link that I just created, and this link is the link for your repository, this one. You can as well copy this link on top, or you can even copy this one by just simply clicking here, and then they'll copy it for you. So I hope we are together, right? So I paste that link here in the URL, and now the next thing will be for me to select where this project should be saved. So you select where this project should be saved. So for me, I'm going to put on desktop, but in my folder of GitHub. So for me, what I do, I always put my projects in a GitHub folder. I create a special folder called GitHub. It can be anywhere in your desktop, anywhere, but it should be somewhere, right? And it should be organized. So for me, I always create my folder. I call it GitHub. So in that folder, I save there my projects that are on GitHub. So this is my folder of GitHub. You can see, you can as well create yours on desktop. You can create it anywhere. So let me go ahead and create and open this folder of GitHub, which is here. And every month for me, I create a new folder for GitHub projects. So for example, if I go to May, if you are in month of May, I'll just simply come and create a new folder, which is 2022 _ May, which is 05. So if I do like that, I'll have my things organized in form of months. So everything that I start in a particular month, I put it in that particular month. Right now we are still in April, right? This is the last day of April. So this project that I'm just going to create, I'm going to save it in this month of April. Okay? But all of them, they're inside the folder of what? Of GitHub. So I hope you are together. So after making sure that I have my folder of GitHub, now the next thing I'm going to, so I've created this subfolder. Now the next thing is I'm going to do what? I'm going to set this clone or this new project that I'm getting from GitHub to be in the folder that I just created. So I'll click here on choose, So you click on choose the folder. So my folder is on desktop. So also if yours is on desktop, is okay. If yours is in another folder, no problem. So I'll click on desktop, and then I'll go to the folder where mine is GitHub, and then I go to the month of April 2022-04. So all the projects that I'll start in this month, they'll be here. And the project that I'll start in next month, they'll be here. So let me select the where this month where I am. So I'll just double click on that. But this is optional, organizing your things in this form. You can also find your effective way of organizing things, even which may be more better than mine. So I'll go ahead and select. Then after selecting, so it means that my folder is going to be saved here in the subfolder called Learn Web. So everything is well set, and then I go ahead and click clone. So after clicking clone, it will process. You should be well connected to internet. After processing, then you'll have connected this folder that you just created, this folder which is here. You see, there is now a new folder here under 24. You see, there's a new folder that just created, that has been created by GitHub. So they have connected this folder with what? With this GitHub, with this repository. Okay, they have connected this folder with this repository. So after doing that, now this folder is empty. I'm going to put there now my works. So since it is about Learn Web, remember we have our HTML projects, our HTML files that we have been using to practice. We have our HTML file that we've been using to practice. And remember, I told you that every topic that I teach you, you should be creating for it a separate file. For example, I expect you at this level should have, if I open, this is my folder of HTML, right? If you open your folder of HTML, you should have something like this. Can you see? Really well organized. And let me show you. You see? This is what I have. So I expect you also to have something like this. One intro, this. So these are the topics that we have covered. So if you're really a serious student, I expect you to have all these files, separate files. So if I open this one, it will take me to my browser, and you see this one. This way this is what I practiced on that day. The HTML, I think here we're learning about links. Okay, so I expect you also to have that stuff in your in your computer. So if you're really following what I was teaching you, but if you're not following, of course you won't have it. So I have all my organized source code of HTML, but saved in a folder called HTML somewhere on my computer. So since I already have that folder, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move that folder where it is and put it in the folder where I can have a copy on internet. Okay, so in my new folder of GitHub. So what will I do? I'm going to go to my new folder of GitHub. So I'll just simply click on desktop and then come to GitHub. This is my folder of GitHub. Then I go to where there's a folder of Learn Web, which is here in April. Here, Learn Web, it is here. So I'm going to drag and drop all my exercise files that I was practicing and put them here. So they are here, HTML. So I'll just copy and paste them here. So when I paste them here, it means that I have moved them in a folder of GitHub. So after moving them in a folder of GitHub, the next thing for me is to push this folder that I've just put in my new folder of GitHub to this source code. I mean to online web. I repeat, after copying this folder to my repositories folder that we just created, the next thing is for me to commit those changes or that new folder and push it. Pushing means to get the local changes of the folder or the local files or the files that are on your computer and push them to internet or to your repository on internet. So once you push them, it means that now you'll have changes in your in your project here that is on internet. Let me repeat for the last time. After putting my folder here in the repository folder that we just created, the next thing for me, it will be to push or to commit and push those changes to my to my web, to my online version. Okay, this is the offline version. Now I'm going to push them to to the online version. So after copying that and put it there, and then I close. So I make sure that I've selected the web. So if you selected the web, now you'll be able to see these Chinese things. It's not Chinese really. You'll be able to see these new things here. We call them changes. These changes, they are the changes in our folder of GitHub. You see, I've selected the Learn Web repository. You can switch the repositories from here. If you want to select another repository, you can switch them from here. So you see, in this repository, I now see some new things, these new files. So why am I seeing these ones? I'm seeing this one telling me that, hey, in your folder that is connected to a repository of GitHub or to a repository of GitHub, there is something that has changed. So they want me to be able to save those changes. And I see those things inside the what? Inside the software of GitHub. I hope we are together. Why? Because I just copied all my HTML files. You see? Let me come again. You see, it is here. If I come here, come to this Learn Web, you see this is the HTML files. So I copy all my previous HTML files that we are using for practicing. I copy them to this folder of GitHub that we just created and connect this one. So if I copy them, now GitHub will automatically know that there is something that has changed in our what? In our folder. Okay? And these are the files that have changed. So if I close and I come to GitHub software, it will tell me that, hey, this and this and this and this has been what? Has been changed. So now what I have to do is to commit. Commit means like you confirm. You confirm, yes, I'm the one who changed this stuff. Okay? I am the one. So that means committing. Then after committing, you will push. I'll explain what is meant by push. So I'm the one who has changed these files, so I have to commit them. So I make sure that I select all of them, okay? All of them that are selected by clicking on this one. So I say, maybe I can put my first comment, I call it first changes. And then I click on commit to main. And then I click on commit to main and everything will be done. Okay? And there will be no more cry or complaint here. So after committing to main, it means that you have confirmed with GitHub that you are the one who changed those files on local machine, on computer, or offline. So after doing that, then we have to push or publish and push. Push means that these changes should be now saved on the online version or on our computer, on the GitHub version on our computer. That's what is meant by push. Push means to send. It means like we have finished. Like there you can type a WhatsApp message. After typing on WhatsApp message, you have to send it. That is the same as pushing. Okay. So I've finished creating my changes. If you come to GitHub, you come to this new folder. You see there are changes there. After doing that, now I have to push them. So to push them, after committing them, you just simply click on publish branch. So publish branch, you click on this file, I hate it. Just click on commit and then publish branch, okay? So when you click on publish branch, it will process and then send your branch to your what? To your GitHub. So after doing that, you see no more local changes. What does it mean? They mean that there is no offline changes. So if you have any offline change, let us say like I come and edit a file here or I add a new file, GitHub will automatically know and they'll tell you here that there is a new file that has changed and they'll ask you to commit it and push it. So I've pushed. So after pushing, let me come back to my web. Okay, so I go to my browser where there is my repository of HTML here. So if I refresh, I should be able to see now a branch. You see, I have now the first branch. So you should be able to see something like that. And in that first branch, there is my folder of HTML. So this is the website. You see, this is the website. This is not our computer. So if you click on HTML, can you see everything that was in our previous folder has been created here? Okay, everything that was there has been done. What has been created? So that is really beautiful. So it means that all the changes that we had on our computer, anyone in the world can now do what? Can access them. Even if you lose your computer, you can be able to get your what? All your changes. Okay, that is so beautiful. Okay, so after doing that, it means that now you're good. You can even go to another computer, log in to your GitHub, and then pull. So when you pull means to get the versions from internet. It just like you clone. You can go to another computer, a laptop or another computer, just log in to your GitHub, install GitHub software, login, and then clone. So when you clone, it means that you'll have again the same code on that computer. You can edit, work. When you finish, you push. So you'll have contributed here. So you can work even on 20 computers, or 5 computers, or 6 computers, or 3 computers. while your code is being saved in only one place and all your changes will be in one place. So isn't that beautiful? It's really beautiful compared to the way how we are doing things. You have to copy it on a hard disk, on a flash disk, and then carry it. When you change it from this side, you have to again copy it from flash, which is really painful. But here you push and pull, push, pull, push, pull. So if you make a change here, when you go to your local machine, you just simply pull. For example, if I come here and change, let me change it. So here I'm in a browser, right? I'm in a browser. I come here to comments and I put here, and let me just change here and say, I'm going to click here on edit. I'm editing from internet. Here, this is the internet, right? So this is another computer. So it can be another computer, right? And I can say, this is amazing. And then after I save, I commit and save from web. Okay, so this is another computer. I commit and save. This, like, I'm editing from internet. So I just saved this file. So if I click here, there's one file has changed. So after doing that, so I come to another computer, to the original computer, this one. So if I click on fetch, it will tell me that, hey, there is some changes on what? On web. So this is in the case, like in case someone contributed to your code, or your colleague wrote something and he pushed. So for you have not got these changes to your computer. So when you come to your GitHub and click on fetch, it will tell you that, hey, there's some changes on web. So what do you have to do? You have to pull. Pulls means to get the version from internet to your what? To your local machine. So I'll click on pull. It will process, and then my local version, all the files that are on the local computer will be updated. And the good thing here is it does not update everything. It only updates the file that's changed. It does not update everything. Only the file that's changed is the one that is what? That is updated. So even if you have thousands of files, it will logically, it will smartly only update those ones that what? That had some changes, which is so beautiful. So after reaching that level, now the next thing that you'll have to do, you're going to add me as a what? As a contributor to your web project. So to add me as a contributor, what will it help? It will help me to know if you're doing stuff or not. Okay? So when you'll be making changes from my computer, I will be able to see that, hey, this guy is working or he's not working. So to add me as a contributor, or you can add another person as a contributor so that you can start working on the same project, you simply click on what? On settings. Okay? Click on settings. So you first browse to your project. Mine is repository here. Click on web repository, learn web. And then under learn web, there is this one. So I just simply click on settings after reaching the specific repository. And then click on collaborators. Okay? So in collaborators, you enter your password to confirm that you are the one using, or you are the one adding the collaborator. Then after, you scroll down here, you'll find a button which is straightforward and clear that asks you to add people. So I'm going to add a person. So here you enter my email. Okay? My email, or you can even search me. So my email is ugnews24@gmail. So that's my email. So you invite me. There is one E only, okay? With Eugenius24 with a Z. And then you invite me. Or you can even enter my username. Learn it with Mohindo. It will be some suggestions here. So as one word, you'll be able to add me. So, but because it is my own project, so I cannot add I cannot add myself. So let me invite my other account. So I have this other account, Mobahood. You see, there are some suggestions. So even with the picture. So when you search me, learn it with Mohindo, you'll see my picture of Eugenius24, which is red picture. So I click here, invite this guy as my collaborator. So when I click on add to this repository, add me about this repository, I will get the email that will confirm that you have been added to this repository. Okay, so that's what you're going to do also in this class. You're going to add me as a contributor to your repositories. That I should be able to know that if you're doing shit or not. So after doing that, then it means that you have successfully created your repository. So you can see here, you can click on show in Finder. You can even open with VS Code. So from here, you can simply click on open with VS Code, and then GitHub will help you to load that project or to load your folder in your VS Code. But you can as well open it manually, something that I already showed you how to open a certain folder in what? In VS Code. So you see, I have there my first files, and this one, and there are a copy of them on what? On internet, which is so beautiful, and a copy of them on what? On internet. So lastly, a VS Code. You can also as well use VS Code to do what? To manage your source code. I mean to manage your GitHub account. So in case you don't want to use this software, still VS Code can also do the same thing. So VS Code, you just simply come here and click on this icon and then click on login. So here I'm already logged in, so I don't need to do it. Just click on sign in. So when you sign in with GitHub, you just click on sign in with GitHub. It will ask you to enter the code, which is straightforward. When you sign in with your GitHub account here, you can as well use VS Code to push on what? On GitHub. How? So here my project's already there. You can even clone. So if your project is not on GitHub and click here, they'll ask you to clone a project. And the steps are almost the same. So let me come ahead and change some files here. So if I change the files here, this is intro. I can say simple thing from VS Code, and I save. So once I save, it means that I've made some changes in a file. And once I made a change in the file, as you see here, there is a 1 here. Okay, they tell me, hey, there's some change that has been made. So I just simply click on that one and write if I want. And if I also come to GitHub software, it will tell me that there is something that has been changed, and you can see there. So this time you can simply commit and push on GitHub using GitHub software. But still VS Code can do the same stuff. So I'll just simply come here and click on this one. Okay, so I want to commit and push. So to commit, I can say maybe from VS. That's my commit VS Code. That is my commit message. Then to commit, you click on this check or the tick. So when you do like that, you have committed, but you have not pushed. So to push, you just simply click here on the word sync. So this sync, if you've not installed a plugin, it will be the word push. It will simply do what? It will simply push your source code to your internet. You see, it's pushing. There's something that is disturbing. Okay, mine is disturbing, but it works still. So you just simply click on push. So when you click on push, here it'll also work in your case, but for me I have some problem. So if you click on push, still it will be the same thing, and then your online version will be updated. So how do we do this? When you're going to code, of course, you always code in sessions. You can start, for example, from 8 p.m. up to maybe 12 p.m. That's a single session. So what you do, you write. When you finish, you have to leave your computer. So before you leave your computer, you have to make sure you commit and push. So after committing and push, so you may commit once and push once. After committing and push, it means that your online version, it's going to be what? It's going to be updated. So if you want to see all the files, just click here. This is the files. This is GitHub. Files, GitHub. Files, GitHub. So I have all my files there in the folder of what? Of HTML. So at this level, I'll hope everyone will be able to reach it. And in case you're stuck, you try again and again until you make it, because we have already done it. So you will not be the first person to do it. So it's not magic, right? It's not magic. So if you just face some challenges, try like 20 times. 20 times, that should be the attitude. So if it fails 20 times, then come to my inbox, but don't come to my inbox before you try 20 times. If you give up before 20 times, then it means that you give up, but don't give up before you really reach this point. So we are at that point. So let us now start today's topic. So today's topic, we are going to get introduced to what we call CSS. So in the previous class, we talked about CSS, and then we said that CSS, we use CSS to design our project. If you still remember, if I come to this file, styles, you see, we talked about external styles and the what. So we use CSS to design our project. And if you still remember, we discussed about classes, where we said that a class, you'll be able to define some rules only one time, and then you can be able to implement these rules on different different blocks of your project. So CSS is another complete day or another complete programming language, very popular, because the only way that we can design our websites. So that is CSS. So you can come and learn about CSS, okay, here in W3 Schools. Everything is already there, written for you. So this CSS, it has a shortcut where you can okay, it's better for you to come and learn here CSS and know the basics of CSS. But I'm going to give you a shortcut where you can forget the existing classes or the already created classes and just implement them. And there is we call it a framework. So there is one CSS framework that we're going to get introduced to, and in that framework it's where we're going to learn how to design and make our website look much more beautiful than the way they were. So that framework is called Bootstrap. So you can simply come to W3 Schools and click on Bootstrap. So this Bootstrap, it is having 3 core versions: Bootstrap 3, Bootstrap 4, and Bootstrap 5. This is the newest and the latest. But for me, I'm going to teach you Bootstrap what? Bootstrap 4. So click on Bootstrap 4, and then you'll have all the notes that you're going to follow here. All the notes that you're going to follow, they'll be here. So your task is just to put to do what? To put your ass down, and then what? And start learning. Otherwise, if you don't learn, then you will not know shit. You will not do not understand things. You have to sit down and learn. And once you learn something, then it will be in your head forever. Otherwise, if you don't learn, then you'll keep on mediocring every day. Okay? First, put pause to TikTok. Put pause to Netflix if you have an account. Put pause to YouTube, and first use these 3 months and learn something. But in your free time, of course, when you're really bored, you can watch a single movie. You can check some interesting things. But in these 3 months, sit down and learn stuff. You see, all these notes are already there waiting for you. But you are busy on TikTok. Then after some time, you cry that you're broke. Really. Anyway, though this is not the only journey. Anyway, I have to sit down and start learning. So you said that you're going to get started with Bootstrap. So Bootstrap, it is what is the definition of Bootstrap anyway? Let me search it. What is Bootstrap? Bootstrap. Just search it on Google. They will tell you what is meant by Bootstrap here. Bootstrap is a free open CSS framework directed at responsive mobile fast front-end web development. It is a HTML, CSS, and JavaScript based design template for typography, forms, buttons, navigation. So in simple terms, Bootstrap is a framework that will help us to create beautiful websites without too much hassle, and while using good practices. So we're going to get started how to implement this Bootstrap in our projects. So to do that, I'm going to create a special folder in our project, call it Bootstrap. So you see how I've been organizing my things. I have a Learn Web. Under Learn Web, I have HTML. So here I'm going to create another folder under Learn Web. Come here, new. No, not new file. New folder. Okay, and I'm going to call it Bootstrap. Okay, So I have two folders under learn web. So this is just the same as coming to a GitHub folder. The same as coming to a GitHub folder, come to your folder where you're saving your stuff, learn web, and then create a second folder called Bootstrap. So in case your friend wants to learn through your notes, they can find them well organized. The notes for HTML, they are there. The notes for all the practice files for Bootstrap, we're going to save them here, which is really beautiful, okay? A beautiful way of organizing stuff. Other than creating a file, today is on desktop, tomorrow it is on disk C, tomorrow it is in flash disk. Hey, you should be able to put your things together. Also, maybe when you also teach someone, then they should be able to relate, okay? Or you can even do better than me. So I've created here my folder of what? Of Bootstrap. So as we've had, Bootstrap is just a framework. It's just a class. It's just a file with classes of what? Of CSS. So we are going to download that file of Bootstrap. Okay. So let us go ahead and download that file. I will not be much into here, right? So I'm just going to simply come here on my Google and search. Okay. Maybe a little bit faster, but try to be more attentive. Okay. So we're going to download a file of what? Of Bootstrap. So I'll come to Google and search download Bootstrap 4. Okay, not Bootstrap 5, but Bootstrap 4. Click enter, and then click on this first search result, download Bootstrap 4. Okay, click there. So you'll see here, Bootstrap 4 can go to Bootstrap 4.6. 4.6 also, okay. So this one, Bootstrap 4.6. Okay, Bootstrap 4, it's okay. So there, you'll have to download Bootstrap, So you scroll. To download Bootstrap, you may not find, okay, click on download. So when you click on download here button, and the download button, you'll find here compiled CSS and JS. And then you have source files. So source file comprises compile Bootstrap with your asset pipeline by downloading CSS what. Okay, so this one, it has everything, so many things, even the one that you don't need. But for us, we just need this first one, simple one. Okay, so let's go ahead and download it. Click on download. It is just a simple file. It's not like Flutter SDK. Okay, so it has finished downloading. So I'm going to open where it is, show in folder. So this is where it is. Okay, so it is a zip file. Okay, it's a zip file. So after getting this file, I might just get the whole of it and put in my what? In my project. So I click and copy. Okay, copy. Then come to your GitHub folder. Come to your folder where I saved your Bootstrap. Then paste it. Okay, it is even too huge. I can even. Okay, so after doing that, it is still zipped. So we have to unzip it. We have to unzip it until we get exactly what we want. Okay, so to unzip, so if you're using Windows, right click and then click on unzip. For Mac, we just double click and then to unzip stuff automatically. So once you unzip it, you'll have something like this. Okay, you'll have something like this. You'll have CSS and JS. Okay, don't look at anything. Just come to CSS. Okay, come to this unzipped file. Come to CSS, look for this file where there is bootstrap.css, this one. Okay, don't get lost in with any other thing. Look for this file, bootstrap.css. In fact, that's the one that we're supposed even to add only in our project. So copy that file, copy it, and then come to your folder. In fact, it's the only thing that you had to copy. So and click there. Or go to your folder, right? So for me, I know where mine is, under GitHub, under 2022, Apple, under Learn Web, under Bootstrap here. So I'm going to paste it here, paste it there. I've pasted bootstrap.css. If you cannot see extension .css, .html, if you cannot see those things in Windows, I've already explained how to unhide extension. Go to views on your folder, go to views, go to options, go to scroll down, click on view, and then scroll down. You'll see something where there is hide extension of known files. It is checked. Uncheck it and then click on apply. Then you'll be able to see .css, .html. So in simple terms, just copy this one, bootstrap.css is the only thing that you'll copy. Copy it and paste it on top of your Bootstrap folder. You can even delete these other things. Let me delete this one and delete this one. All what I need here is this, okay? All what I need here in your Bootstrap file, in the Bootstrap folder, is this one. Don't confuse yourself, guys, okay? Don't confuse yourself. I don't want that. It's not good to confuse yourself. I can even do it again just for your sake. Let me do it again because I don't want you to start disturbing. Okay? Now, after downloading your folder, your file of Bootstrap, okay, where is it? Here, Bootstrap. Unzip it. You know how to unzip. Okay? After unzipping it, where is the unzipped version? Okay? After unzipping it, let me get the unzipped version. See on desktop. Okay? Bootstrap. It is here. Bootstrap for distribution. Open it. After open it, you'll find there two folders, CSS and JS. Open CSS. Okay? Look for bootstrap.css. Copy that. Ctrl-C. Come to your folder where there is your HTML files. Not HTML, but where we created the new folder of Bootstrap. We're going to put Bootstrap things. Come desktop, wherever it is. So come there. I'm trying to explain as if you're babies. No problem. Bootstrap, paste there. Okay? Paste there. So this the Bootstrap.css is the only file that you need. Forget about the rest. Okay? So if you come to your project here, if you come to your project here and open Bootstrap, you should be able to see this file, bootstrap.css. Okay? This one. You should be able to see that. So whatever is inside there, don't touch. It's not your business, right? Whatever is inside bootstrap.css, don't open, don't touch, just leave it. Okay? So after doing that, then it means that you have successfully downloaded Bootstrap. Okay? File. So the next thing is for me is to create now my first file that I'm going to test Bootstrap. So I'm going to create new file here. Click on this folder, new file, and I'm going to call it one_test.html. Okay? So that is one_test.html. So after doing that, I'm going to write my HTML structure and then put here, say, Bootstrap test. Okay. So after doing that, I have now to come here to body, and then inside the body, I can put here my H2 or my H1. I can say Bootstrap test. Okay. And then after I come out of this H1, I write my P tag and then put something like lorem. Write lorem and press enter. Lorem, and press enter. Then you'll have something like this. Okay? You'll have something like this. Okay? You'll have something like this. Okay? So let's go ahead and run this file. So run this file. Can I click here? Okay, okay, so to run this file, I'm going to open it in the browser. So to run it, just simply come to our folder of Bootstrap, or you can just simply come to Google Chrome. Come to Google Chrome, open a new file. just simply open your Google Chrome. Mine is here opened. So after opening Google Chrome, the next thing you're going to open the file that we just created. Okay, so to open the file, press Ctrl and O. Okay, Ctrl and O. Press Ctrl, hold it and O. You already know that. Come to desktop where you saved your file. So for mine is saved on desktop. Come to GitHub and then come to this. Navigate where your file is. Learn web, Bootstrap. Where there is this file 1_HTML that we just created. Open it. So when you open it, you'll have some. Okay, so this is what you have. Okay, so there it is. Okay, but you can see we have not imported Bootstrap. So we have Bootstrap file, but we have not imported it. So to import Bootstrap file, now come back to your HTML or the text editor. Come in the head tag, and then write the word link. Okay, write link in small letters. You'll be able to get suggestions. Press enter, and then here under href, now here href, you put the name of this Bootstrap file. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to import these classes of Bootstrap into your what? Into your project. So you can just simply write bootstrap.css. Okay, bootstrap.css, then save. After saving, now come back to your what? To your Google Chrome and refresh. So this is how it looks like before you put Bootstrap. Okay, now let us refresh. We have now put Bootstrap. Let us refresh and see how it looks like. Click on refresh, tap, boom. Can you see? Things really look much more nice. There was space that here was on the towards the end has been removed. The font style has been changed, and then so if you see that there is something that is like this, then you know that you have successfully imported Bootstrap. But if you cannot confirm from there, just still come and write this inside this class. I mean inside this okay, inside the body tag. Okay, and the body tag, write the word class, the attribute class, and then in the class write the word bg, and then put dash, and then write the word danger. Okay, write something else. Okay, write bg, then dash, then the word danger. bg danger. bg danger, like this. Okay, so after writing bg danger, put space and then text white. Okay, text white. Write these two things. bg danger, text white. Okay, so that one will confirm with you whether it is you have successfully imported Bootstrap or not. Just come and refresh. Come to our project, refresh, boom. Can you see? Can you see? So if you did not successfully import Bootstrap, you'll not be able to get that, which is so beautiful. If you come here and put bg success save, come and refresh. Don't mind about what they mean or not. You'll have something like that. So don't mind about what they mean or not. We're going to explain everything step by step. So at that point, you should be able to tell, yeah, I did it. Like you have successfully imported Bootstrap. So that is a simple introduction to what? To Bootstrap. So now let's go ahead and now start getting started with what? With Bootstrap. So we are going to begin with what we call containers. So a container is something that contains your content, as just it sounds. So we may need to make sure that our things are well organized when we are creating what? We are creating our containers. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a class. Create a new file called container, just like the way I've told you. Like every practice thing, you have to do what? To use a new file. So after testing that you have successfully imported Bootstrap, then you're going to proceed to another thing. So to do that, I'll just simply come and right click there, new file. I'm going to call it 2_ containers. I can just put bootstrap containers, bt _ container. Why am I putting bootstrap bt? Just for the sake of bootstrap, but let me remove it, it's useless. Containers dot html. Okay, so here I'm going to write my HTML container, and then I'm going to put here my just containers. So let us go ahead and import Bootstrap. So to import Bootstrap, we just simply copy this. Okay, before import Bootstrap, let us first do something. So I'm just going to do the same thing that we did here. Copy that body, just copy the paragraph and the heading. You can as well type it again, save. Now let us go ahead and open this file. Okay, so we'll come to our Google Chrome and click Ctrl+O, and then after clicking Ctrl+O, we go ahead and open this file that we just created, 2 containers. So if you refresh, you see we have that one. I have not put Bootstrap. So let's go ahead and put Bootstrap. So to put Bootstrap, you just simply copy this, or you can simply write the word link and then write there the word Bootstrap. Okay, so save, come and refresh. So everything is beautiful. So now our Bootstrap containers, they help to organize our content and keep it in a place where a user can read things in a simpler way. So you have 2 types of containers. We have one is called container, and another one is called container fluid. We're going to look at what they meant. So if I want to implement containers, so I'll just simply come to my body, and then I click on class. I add class, and I add there the word container, and save. Make sure that I write the correct spelling. So if I refresh, you can see my content, it was starting from end up to the end, but right now it has been reduced. So this container, it just uses the good practices of how a website should be like. For example, when it will be really hard if, let me show you. Let me remove class of container and I show what I mean. I've removed the class of container. So if I refresh, so it can be hard for someone to read a sentence beginning from here up to here without a break. Okay, so it's good practices that someone should read sentences which are not too long without being without being broken or without being wrapped. So that's why Bootstrap, they sat down and saw that, hey, we may need a class called container for keeping the content of the user into their right angle or the right range of where they can read content properly. So that's why I came up with a class called container. So this class container can implement it anywhere. So let us go ahead and implement it here. Just simply write container like that. Okay, container like that. So I can simply put, okay, come and save, refresh. You can see there is some space that has been left here, and this space has been left here. So right click, and then click on inspect. So inspect can help you to test and see how your things will look like on different devices. So if you click here, they will show you how it look like on the mobile. If you click there and then click here, you can click on responsive. You can move here and see how things will look like on different computers. Can you see? So if I click on here, instead of responsive, I click on iPhone. So it means my website will look like this on on iPhone. If I click here and I click on Samsung, it means that my website will look like this on Samsung Galaxy. So you can see that Bootstrap is intelligent, even though on the big device it left big space before the beginning of the line. It was intelligent enough to tell that, hey, if the device is Samsung, where it's a phone, you should not leave too much space, because the phone has less space of screen width. So you can see relatively on the phone there is a small space that has been left, but our content does not touch the border. It does not touch the border of of our device. For example, if you remove this container, class, save, come and refresh on this device, can you see the content is touching the border, which is not really good practice. Okay, someone cannot read. It's not good practice. They think it looks smart, does not. Container, if you add their container, save, come and refresh, you can see there is some border that has been left from the some space has been left from the borders. So that is the work of container. And if you even close, you can close it from here, this X, to go back. So if you go back, you see even on a big computer there is a bigger space that has been left, but it makes things look really nice. Okay, but it's optional. It's not necessary that you should always use it. So that's the meaning of container. I just brought it so that you should understand what is meant by container. So if I cut all this and then put div, and then insert that div, paste there, and then div, I told you, is just a container also, something that you can use to create where our rules should start and then put stop from. So in this first div, I can say div1. So that's what I put container in div1. So if I come and refresh, we'll have div1 and container. So if I go ahead and create here, and I put here, so this is div2, right? This div2. So have div2 container, and you can see things have started looking beautiful compared to where at beginning. So now it means that we can now do what? We can implement our classes of Bootstrap. So let me go ahead and change now this one to another type of a container. We have another type of container, it's called container fluid. So to implement container fluid, for it will will spend the maximum width of a container that's containing it. So I'll simply add there the word fluid like this. Okay, fluid. Save, come and refresh. So you see, this second div is as maximum as possible. This first div is having some spaces, okay, in the margin, and this one is having as maximum. So, but even though this one will try to keep the content within the container itself, it is also important to keep the content within the container. So I have those two types of container. This is a container, and this is container container fluid. So we go to typography. So typography means that how the content will look like in Bootstrap, or how the text of Bootstrap should look like. So Bootstrap has different typography and how it organizes different content. Different text and how they should look like. So you can use typography either to work on a plain text or on a specific text field of HTML. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll simply come here and create a new file. So make sure that you're creating in a Bootstrap file, in a Bootstrap folder, because right now we're having two folders. So click on Bootstrap folder and then click on this plus here. So that's one as simple as creating a new file. So it's going to be 3 underscore typography Bootstrap typography dot HTML. Okay, so after doing that, let me keep this file as a basic file. This file number 1, I'll be just using it as my basic file. Okay, let me remove these others. I'll be using it as a basic file. So I'll be coming and copy, and then I paste, so that I should start from there in the next file. So so we're in on Bootstrap typography. So typography, so I'm going to just put here maybe container. So let's see now how H1 will look like. Maybe you can say heading 1, and this one is H2, and this one is H3 and 3. So Bootstrap will automatically format these things for ourselves. So I'm going to go ahead and open the file, Ctrl O, and then I click on typography. When I click on typography, let me put here container. Right, just correct spelling, save. So that is how different headings of Bootstrap look like. This is heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. So they automatically formatted like that. So on top of those headings, Bootstrap even created for them what? Created for them classes. So in case you have for example, your paragraph, let us say P, and say this is my simple paragraph. So you come and save, come and refresh. Of course, that is your simple paragraph. You see, that is the size of paragraph. This is the size of what? Of headings. In fact, this is heading 3, right? So this is a simple paragraph. So this Bootstrap creates still classes for these headings. So in case you don't want to change the tag, you want to keep it as paragraph, but you want it to appear like heading 2 or heading 1 or heading 3 or heading up to heading 6, So if you want to appear like one of those, you can as well come and add that class here. Class, instead of changing the tag name, you can as well simply put here h1. So if I put h1, save, come and refresh, you see, this h1, this is a paragraph, but you see, it looks like h1. So Bootstrap gives you ability even to use these headings or to use typography as same as what? As a typography of, to use the names of the tags as a typography of what? Of a certain particular tag. So you see, I'm putting here. So if I put here h2 as a class instead, come and refresh, you see, it is going to appear also like what? Like h2, even though it is a paragraph. So our time is over. We'll start from there in the next class. But I will show you some few things. So when you finish, programmers are no longer users. Before you leave, you have to commit and push. So before you leave, come to your GitHub. So our programming session is over. So before you go, come and commit. So you see, these are the files that we have not saved. We had not saved them. Now come and say new changes. Or can say last changes. You can write anything that can help you to remember. You can even write date, say the changes of this date, something like that. So, and then commit. After committing, then push. You're done. Once you do that, then you go and sleep. You can do anything, but don't leave your computer before you commit and push. I repeat, don't leave your computer before you commit and push. Why? Because anything can happen. So you have to practice that if you want to become a developer. Always practice. Commit and push before you leave your PC. So it means that if you commit and push, that means that those changes have been saved to our what? To our GitHub web. So if I come to a GitHub, I can even see what? Your changes. So that's it for today. So in your free time, do what I've taught you, and then do the task that I'll give you. Then if you want to learn more, come. This is the syllabus that you're going to follow. You're going to follow W3 School syllabus. Come to w3schools.com, go to Bootstrap, and then click on Bootstrap 4. And then after clicking on Bootstrap 4, start learning. I've given you a kickstart. We call it a kickstart. I've shown you the use of Bootstrap. I've shown you why we need Bootstrap. I've shown you how to download Bootstrap. I've shown you how to unzip Bootstrap. I've shown you how to put Bootstrap in the right folder of your project. I've shown you how to import Bootstrap. I have shown you how you can implement the classes of Bootstrap. So that is really enough for you to get started and even teach your Bootstrap the remaining topics. What you do, come, open this, sit down, learn. Each file you learn, like we see here, every file, every topic, it is having its specific what? Its specific file. So also every topic I repeat, every topic that you learn, create a special file of it, like the one I'm doing here, so that you should be able to trace. Okay, so if I'm going to learn about maybe colors, okay, of Bootstrap, the first thing to do, create a file called colors. Where you're going to practice from. After creating a file of colors, and then start reading. So you read here, this means the class. When you're implementing this class, don't copy this dot. So you read. After reading, maybe now you want to test, then go to your file of colors. Now write what is there, and save and refresh, and open that file in a browser and refresh, and see if it is the same thing, it is working. If it is working, now try to change this one to any idea. How can you use these colors? Try to change it to another idea. Once you understand, you go to another file. You go to another file, another topic. Create a special file for it. You create a special files for it. In fact, me, I'll be checking files. I'll not be checking like all of them mixed in one file. I'll be checking, what? Did he try this file? Did he try this file? Something like that. So you see, go to tables. Now start learning about tables. How Bootstrap you can implement tables, how you can style tables. You practice, finish that one, go to images, like that. So what I'm trying to tell you, I've already given you the kickstart. Now it is about your attitude, your motivation, your, how should I call it, your aggression, to see how you can use this knowledge to even learn, because the content is already there. So come in your free time, learn. Another one can learn for 30 minutes. Another person can learn for 10 minutes. Another one can learn for 3 hours. Another one can learn even for 4 hours what I've taught. So if you sit here 4 hours practicing these things, you can even finish the whole of this first section in one day. But I don't tell you to do that, but you can try. So it depends on your attitude and how much you need to learn these things. But if you still wait until the next class, it's also okay. No problem. But what I would advise you to just practice even before that. When I teach you in the next class, you already have idea of what I'm talking about. So with that much said, after finishing, commit and push. So you see, after I've pushed, if I come now to my repository of Learn It with Muhin, of Learn Web, and I come to Bootstrap, you see, Bootstrap folder is already there, and I can see my new files. Can you see? These are the new file that just done what? We just created. So when you'll be pushing on this side, you'll be seeing if you're doing things or not. So that's it for today. In case there is no question, you're free to leave, unless there's a question. Any question, guys? So if there's no question, I'm going to upload the video and I'll give the tasks. So it will be up to you to either do the task or not. If you don't do them, I will not force you to do what? To drink, but at least I've taken you to the river. Okay, guys, have a good and blessed night to everyone. See you in the next class.